secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.
Good morning, Benita. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, y'all? Juanita, what's up? Rajiv, Kay, Zach. Today is gonna be pretty. I would say just getting back to the basics of trading, but I know we still have some more people that are new, that are always coming in the Discord. So it's always good to go over this type of stuff. So hopefully you all had a good week, a good trading week. You're learning more. A couple updates for you all that we can actually get into. All right, y'all. Today we're gonna be learning about flag and wedge patterns. Pretty simple stuff, but definitely important. I have used these before, but then I have actually recycled them out for other things. I just want to be able to give you all this information for you all to have so that you can see how this actually fits for your criteria and your sauce and your indicators, right? That's kind of what I want to be able to do is as we kind of progress, we'll be able to throw different things in the mix, see how they, they resonate with y'all. Some of y'all may say, hey, not really for me. Other people might say, hey, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like how I'm able to use this. So that's really what we're going to do today. Shout out to Val. She kind of called it out. But for those of you that are going to the live events, what are y'all most excited for? I mean, if anyone here is going to the live event, whether it's general admission or VIP, what are y'all most excited for? As you can tell, my background is, I guess, giving Arizona vibes. I've never been to Arizona or Phoenix, but that's part of it. That's part of it. Seeing everyone in person and all the bag drops. Cool, cool, cool. AZ is definitely high, for sure. It definitely is high. So Emma's excited to see everyone in person. I think it'll be cool to see everyone in person too, for sure. I know. Let's see here. It's actually a pretty dope venue that we have. So I'm definitely excited for that. I know some of y'all excited for. I don't know. Some people might be going there for other reasons, but 7 times I used to go there for business. It's really just in the middle of the desert. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think it's actually close to the University of Arizona, where we'll be at. What's going on, Henry? What's going on? Right. Definitely the meeting of people who truly want to grow, networking. Exactly, Zach. I was gonna say the same thing. I think for me, what I'm most excited for is the networking opportunity for sure. And this won't be the last live event that we do. This won't be the last live event that we do. So I think it just builds up really good momentum and allows us to really, continue to build upon our network for sure. So happy about that. I will make an announcement. So starting September 1st, what we will do is I will cut back the amount of times that I will be teaching in a week. This will be going for me and Eon, or in a month, sorry, not a week, but in a month. So you know how I'm on here every week, every Saturday. Starting September 1st, what we are going to be doing is we will actually just be teaching twice a month. Okay, so it usually will be, the first and maybe like, I don't know, we'll have to see how we want to do it, but bi-weekly cadence. And I think what that will do is that will help with not only us and continuing to grow the Discord, because there's some things that we're working on behind the scenes, right? But also give you all time a little bit more to review the information that we're actually giving out to you all. And then lastly, another reason why we're going to be doing it is because I'll be starting one-on-ones in September. Okay. And so I want to, be able to accommodate the people that I'll be working one-on-one with, and I'll be able to present more information to you all on that as we get going there. So wanted to go ahead and just give you all that information. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be cool. For sure, for sure. How much that one-on-one gonna be, right? Putting on the waiting list, coach. Right. Yeah, no, it won't be anything too crazy. And that's the thing. Shout out Val. It won't be anything too crazy, right? Because y'all are family, right? Y'all are definitely family. But the thing is, I have to see how I want to go about tackling it first, right? Because STB, y'all got some sauce, but I got some more stuff for y'all, like some crazy stuff, right? And you know, it's just a matter of like, what is like, what am I able to actually, give out to you all, and what's the price point around it? Because for anyone that doesn't know, I've probably invested over $45,000, $50,000 to get more of the teachings from Tay and all the other stuff. So it's just about coming up with that type of stuff. But starting in September, we will start to phase out one-on-ones, maybe thinking about doing non-STB VIP members first, or yeah, just maybe more of the Discord people, working on them, trying to build them up, right? You all will be able, the STB people, y'all be able to go to the live event, and you'll be able to get more of that information from Tay, maybe some more next level stuff. And then towards the end of the year, what will happen is maybe able to start shifting towards some of those STB people, right? So I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. When Fee shoots out the calendar for the month of September, you'll see it updated, but I just wanted to let y'all know in person. But really good opportunity to go ahead and to be able to actually review a lot of the information that we've been actually, giving y'all, and also get some one-on-ones in. So I'm happy about that. So cool stuff, cool stuff. So let's go ahead and let's get into class today, which is flag and wedge patterns, okay? So what do I need to know when it comes to this? You know what I'm saying? What do I need to know, bro? What do I need to know? So wedge patterns and flag patterns are two common chart patterns that can be used to identify potential reversals and continuations. Now, the actual potential reversals, in my opinion, comes from wedge patterns, okay? And it's not even my opinion, it's just factual. Reversals come from wedge patterns and continuations come from flag patterns. How many of you all have heard of bull and bear flags, or rising wedges, and maybe also bearish wedges? Put a one in the chat if you've heard of this before. My boy Slim said one. Got you, one, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, for a lot of you all, this will be actually review. Some of y'all will actually go ahead, we'll back test. I'll go through identifying a couple for you all, and then you all can give me some stocks so we can maybe find it together. But essentially, yeah, this is pretty basic indications and indicators. I'll go into the bear flags. This is a pretty cool illustration. I thought that it was pretty simple, but it also just kind of conveyed the point. So if you think about it, ooh, where's my pointer? My pointer's kind of lagging. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we have our bull flags, okay, here on this is my left. I guess maybe this is your right, I don't know. But you can see here that there's a certain orientation for bull flags. There's really two that are pretty common in the market. And the same thing happens for bear flags, okay? So you will either have more of this rectangular structure here, where essentially, and I left this out from another slide, what usually happens is there's usually a sharp move up or a sharp move down in price action. And then what that usually follows is some type of consolidation. That consolidation is usually going to indicate that, okay, this type of stock is doing a bear flag or doing a some type of bull flag or something like that. So you have more of a pendant here. So you have a pendant formation, and then you also have this rectangle formation. So pretty simple, pretty basic stuff. And then you just have actual like wedges, right? You have rising wedges, you have falling wedges. Now, rising wedges, those are going to be considered more bearish, okay? Those are going to be considered bearish. I know it's kind of weird because it's like it's rising, but it's a bearish indicator. For those of you that are new, it's kind of like, what? But yeah, those are going to be more bearish, okay? And then you're going to have your falling wedges, which are going to be bullish, okay? And some of this is a little, I would say, subjective, kind of, right? But the more that you actually go ahead and you look at it and you look at it and you look at it, you'll start to notice it more and more. And one thing I can say is that, yeah, they can be found on any time frame for sure. Now, I will say the lower the time frame, the harder they may be able to be actually seen because of just the price action. it can be a lot more spotty and sporadic the smaller that you go because of the algos. But when you start getting into some of those, the 4-hour, daily, weekly, monthly charts, yeah, you'll start to actually see it play out for sure. So, well, we definitely need a refresher. No worries, no worries. So that's pretty much, straight to the point what it is. Now, what I want to do is I want to go find some, right? Like, let's go actually in the trading view and let's go find some. And I'll use the ones that I actually found. And then what we can do is I'll give you all an opportunity to shout out a couple stocks and we can go look at those, okay? So no worries on that. Zach says 5, you know. No worries. So let's actually go ahead and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, or I'm actually gonna do a new share. Hey, boom. So let me see. Okay, so you all should see. Yeah, you all should see my desktop now. Okay, cool. So we're in Trading View right now, okay? We're in Trading View right now. I want to make sure I have the chat up at all times. So let me see where that goes. That thing likes to disappear on me sometimes. There we go. So we got my chat. All right, let's get into it. And what I'll do is I will just go ahead and I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So let me delete. Oh, let me delete this. Okay. So I thought Lulu was a really good example of an actual bear flag. How many of y'all actually know Lululemon, right? Y'all trade this before? Familiar with the stock? Pretty good stock. I actually don't trade it, but wanted to actually showcase what it actually is, what it looks like. So here's on the monthly chart. We can see this orientation. Now, again, a way that you'll be able to start to tell this where it traded, you know it, right? You know how we roll, but a good reminder is you want to look for some type of sharp price action. And what I mean by that is if you see a stock that falls rapidly, and when I say rapidly, like this is over months, right? Okay, so this isn't going like super fast, but if you see multiple, I would see like bearish candles or bullish candles, that's a good indication to start to maybe look for these type of patterns, okay? So I can tell you right now that this is definitely a bear flag in my opinion. How do I know that? If I actually went here and I was doing this, okay, what I would see, and again, this is boom, boom, boom. This is actually a bear flag, okay? So sharp fall down, boom, boom, consolidation. Now, the really cool thing about this, right, is when you get good at identifying these, especially for the people that are new, what you'll be able to do, and it's based off of market conditions and stuff like that and how the market is, but when you can start identifying these, it really helps you be able to play stocks up and down for sure, right? Because what you'll be able to do is essentially you'll be able to have really good entries in terms of the consolidation. So for this example, right, like you really don't know it's a bear flag until you start to kind of get into maybe, I would say somewhere in here. When you start to get somewhere in here and it starts, support, and you start to notice this trend, what I always tell you all is try to identify the trend early, maybe try to draw your trend lines early to see if they'll be respected. It will help you get entries in early. And you also start to see this support up here. Okay, so support 1, support 2, support 3. So this would be a great example. And so essentially what I would be doing is, for me, one other thing that you can do with these flag patterns too is you can actually, similar to what I told you all about channels, okay, you can actually go ahead and start to plan your moves in advance based off of the actual trend that it's respecting. What do I mean by that? If you see here that, okay, sharp fall, resistance, resistance, came back down, support, support, support. Oh, okay, I'm starting to draw my trend line here. I'm starting to see my support here. Essentially what I could do, if I were to wipe away these candles, right? Let's just say I wiped away these candles, just to give you all a better visual. So I start to see this. I'm starting to see this actually unfold. Sometimes I do this, and sometimes it plays out to a T. But essentially what I can do now is I can say, okay, look, I got my bear flag. It's already drawn, okay? This is when you get really good. Now, when is this actually apparently going to end? What you can do is you can come in here, go to the end of the actual flag pattern based off of the trend that it's identified. I say you need about, what, 3 resistances and 3 supports in order for it to be a pretty strong indication, right? That it's going to be some type of flag pattern. And you can say, okay, look, so this is going to end in December. This is a bear flag that I'm actually seeing. Based off of this, I may actually want to go ahead and give myself X amount of time for some of these intermediate plays. And then for maybe something that's longer term, what I could be doing is the closer we get here, I can actually go ahead and put in my put position. And so if you enter there, you wait, okay, I'm bullish, boom, I'm shorting that. I'm coming back up and I'm buying that, okay. I'm looking to see, oh, it broke it, but nope, it zooped back up. And this is kind of what happens. It's a lot easier, but if you all can actually start to draw it earlier, it makes it, I would say, a lot easier to navigate. But you can see how this starts to play out. Resistance again, support again, okay. Resistance, support, and this thing is about to fall pretty soon, okay. Where is it about to fall to? That's some more sauce I got for y'all, but what I can tell you is that, how would you know to draw that triangle? Terrence, good point. So yeah, it kind of just goes back to one, knowing how these flag patterns are actually formed. You want to look for actually sharp movements in price. I can tell you right now, Terrence, that I see a bull flag right here. And I'll go back to the picture. But how do I see a bull flag? Look at that. Sharp price action here. Support, 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 support. Broke out, right? So what I'm looking for, Terrence, is I'm looking for consecutive candles. I would say if you get 3 consecutive candles, okay, I would say it can be 3 consecutive candles or maybe 2 really bullish engulfing candles. That's really giving the telltale that, okay, look, that's a sharp movement in price action. Like the market for this particular play right here, session, is saying that there was a lot of buyers here. I should be looking for some type of consolidation. So that's how I would know how to draw that triangle. It really just comes down to identifying where these candles being supported and then just following it. Does that help, Terrence? Do you want me to maybe do a replay and see? I'm talking the 2 white lines to the right. Let me see here. So these 2, I think you're talking about these 2. Am I right about that, Terrence? It's okay. Where my mouse is. When you erase the candles, you said draw it early, but how would you know? Oh yeah. No worries. Let's go back to it. And it's something that I'm just used to, honestly. But so look, I'll erase it again. Let me go here. How would you know to draw that? Okay, first thing is, this is all because I just know, I know patterns now. Like I have pattern recognition because I've looked at this stuff so much. A lot of it's going to be back testing, Terrence, but again, I see sharp price action here. What I see is I see resistance right here, or I see support right here. I see that it came below and it resisted it. So I know in this area, I know that it's essentially resistance. Like I just know it's resistance because of the candle wicks, and what the price action is actually doing. It's essentially very common rule is that when this actually is support and it comes below, and it closes below, it becomes resistance. Once I see that play out, I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Now I know that, okay, sharp price action. I know that this was support. It broke below, it came up, it resisted it probably 2 or 3 times. This is a good area of resistance. Let me just draw this line, okay? Now, when you get good enough, what will happen is you'll start to see higher lows form in the market, okay? What are higher lows? Essentially, if you look at these candles and you start to notice that they just start making higher lows, then that's a trend. He is at the horizontal. I think maybe, are you talking to me, Slim? I can't tell if you're talking to me, but ultimately, Terrence, what I would say is what you need to be able to do in order to better understand or better draw these things is, one, look for just simple support and resistance. Okay, look for areas where candles are actually resisting or supporting, and then also look for higher lows. Okay, that will really help you out. And then once you start doing that, you'll start to actually see that it will play out. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. If it doesn't help, we'll actually get into some one-on-ones. But you know, we also have, yeah, and we'll go through more examples. And I promise you, the more I actually show this to you all, the easier it'll get. That's just, even with STB, that's how it's worked for me. I would have drew a speed line from the top. Got you. So you probably would have did this. I see what you're saying. So you probably would have did something like this. So you probably would have drew something like this, where you would have been like you could do a channel, right? So this is also good resistance in here. But you probably would have did something like this, Terrence, where it's like, oh, okay, cool, it's coming out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it goes back to you have to massage this thing like Play-Doh, right? There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this, right? There's nothing wrong with this. Like you can do this, you can have your channels, because I'm not against channels either. And you can play with this thing, right? You can play with this thing. It's just all subjective and how you want to look at it. And what you think is going to give you the most earning potential based off your trading plan. I'm totally fine with drawing a channel here, right? But in terms of just bull and bear flags, this is something else that you can look at. And you'll have to see like, okay, if I'm doing it this way, how many entries would I realistically get? Versus if I did it this way, how many entries would I realistically get? If it's the same, maybe you don't use it. If it's more, or if you feel better about it, cool. You know what I'm saying? Either way. So no, good point. And good conversation. I like that. You all saw the bear flag here, or the bull flag. So again, I'll do this with Lulu and then we can go to another example. But again, what happens? Sharp price action up, consolidation. Thank you, King West. We'll actually put that on the board. Saw that. I like the concept. How many entries and exits will I get? Thank you. Yeah, exactly, right? Because that's what it's about. But you see consolidation here and then breakout. What I can say is with bull and bear flags, the entries or the breakouts, you'll be more likely to, at times, what I've noticed is you'll be more likely to actually gain a little bit more in profit, depending on the situations. What do I mean by that? So sometimes what happens is, look, we see that the RSI is oversold, right? Like this thing is cooking hot, right? And essentially what that means is like, you know, typically we don't want to necessarily buy up here, right? But if you have a pattern that you've recognized, right? Yeah, and exactly, Jesse. The key is to understand how price action is moving, the sharp price action, and to actually see if you can start your actual lines early. And I promise you all, it just comes from back testing and actually trying it. Predict the future and how to play it, in a sense. But back to my point, you know that the RSI, this thing is cooking hot. Look at this. This thing is like cooking hot, right? And essentially, you're like, okay, look, I probably shouldn't be buying it here. But if you saw this bear flag or even this bull flag, y'all, you could have played this and made money on it, right? And the breakout would have been lovely too. Now, where do you get out after the breakout? You're gonna have to see. You have some psychological support at 400. That would have been a good area to get out, honestly. But this thing ran here. Are you ever gonna catch the top? No. Are you ever gonna catch the bottom? No. But just wanted to kind of give that. Let's keep going. Let's see here. Jay, do you define a breakout as one close above the line or two? Good point. Good point. Good point. For this instance, I typically look for a close. One close above is usually going to be it. There is something called confirmation candles, where STB, you know what's up. But when it comes to confirmation candles, what you typically want to see is you want to see like a close above and then another candle close, and then you enter. I don't know. I want to catch this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to catch this because I know that this is, I'll put it like this, Jay, because I know that this is a bull flag, what I'm going to be doing is I may not even enter here. I may enter back here for this type of move and just give myself more time, right? So like my entry for the breakout will happen before the actual breakout. Some people and some traders, they want to actually look and wait for the breakout to then get in. So they would actually get in like right here. I'm going to try to be in there like here because it's like, oh, support, support, support or resistance, resistance. And then you have support down here, support down here. And then as soon as this thing would have resisted here, I would have been like, okay, look, yep, I see that this is actually, I see the sharp price action again. I can see the support and resistance. For this breakout, I know that it is a bull flag, so it's going to be breaking out at some point. What I'm going to do is, as this thing is actually falling, okay, I'm going to be buying this. What is that? The falling knife strategy, okay? So you start to see how all this stuff comes together. Falling knife strategy, I'm going to start buying this, okay? Boom. And really what I can do is, again, this is where you can start to have multiple positions and you can start to play this thing up and down, right? Okay, cool. I'm buying in here for the breakout. Maybe I go another position, shorter time in case it doesn't want to give me that breakout yet. I still know that it still needs to come up because this is support. So now I have a longer position for the breakout. And then I have a shorter position just to actually capture it here and bring it from simply support to resistance, okay? Now, you're not going to catch maybe every single entry, right? But essentially, if this thing came back down, this would have gave you one more time to maybe get in for the breakout, and then boom, you would have got out of there, okay? So that's how I would approach it, Jay, is some people, they like the confirmation. I just think that, again, if you do confirmation, you probably want to give it a close above your speed line. Like once it breaks the speed line, this is the confirmation, go ahead and get in. Me personally, I'm looking to actually be in it a little bit earlier, okay? I want to be a little bit earlier. And the reason again is because I will be able to identify the flag pattern earlier, okay? So let's go into another one. This is a good one. I was drawn on this, but look at Netflix. Look at Netflix. I wish I could, let me see if I can, let me do this real quick. Bull and bear flags. So I like to, okay, so look at this. You see this bear flag here? This is exactly the orientation of what Netflix is doing. Let me actually show you all. I was already looking at Netflix, right? I'm telling y'all, this is, once you start seeing it play out, play out, play out, you'll see this is a bear flag too right here, or a bull flag. But pretty simple. So what happens? Sharp price action. You get some bearish engulfing candles. Great indication that there's some sharp price action. And what happens? This thing starts to come back up. Starts to come back up. Now, I don't know if they called it, but Netflix definitely needs to fall, okay? It definitely needs to fall, but you all can see the resemblance, right? Now, what I can say is that this is probably a little bit more tilted in its orientation. It's not going to be perfect, right? But again, you start to see the consolidation. Boop, 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 boop. Now you're just essentially priming yourself for what? The breakout. That's really all you're doing. You know that this is a bear flag. You know that this thing needs to fall more. So where would you get in for the potential breakout? This would have been a good entry, right? I couldn't find it. You have the link for it. Okay, sorry, I was just looking at my messages. I think the falling knife strategy video is missing. Okay, I'll make sure I can get it to you all for sure. But again, we know that this is a bear flag based off of our back test and just honestly looking at this a lot and looking at me doing it. Cool. This thing has some consolidation here. I'm anticipating that Netflix falls down. How long will that take? It's not as clear here, right? If it was more of a pendant orientation, I could see where it's going to intersect and I could say, hey, look, this thing it has to break one way or another. This is more of like a rectangular orientation. So could this thing just keep rectangling and rectangling its way up here? It could, right? It could. It definitely could. But I'm assuming that as high as probably here. I think it needs to come back and actually retrace. But I think we have some sellers in this area that will actually knock it down. So why you and draw the triangle in this example? Right. So why didn't I draw the triangle on this example as opposed to drawing it on Lulu? I think it's just because of how the candles again are resisting and supporting. So let me see if I can get you this right here. Let me do this for you, Terrence. Let me see if I can get this for you. So we'll actually go ahead. We'll do a side by side so you can see. Oh, nope. Boom, boom, boom. Let's take away these EMAs. And let's see if we can kind of do a side by side comparison to actually let you see differ from the ascending wedge. Good questions, good questions, good questions. All right. Good questions, good questions, good questions. Okay. So Terrence, do you see a difference in how these candles are actually forming from Netflix? Oh, wait, hold on, I'm tripping. No, yeah, never mind. I think you said erase them candles to where you said to draw early. Okay, got it. Let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. Blah, 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 blah. So let's go here. Okay, bet. So let's see here. And let me go here. Can I do it for, okay, I can't do it for both. But let's see how I can show this to you. All right, so we're at the point now where we have Lululemon, we have Netflix. Terrence asking, hey, how did you know how to draw it in a more triangular orientation or wedge orientation versus more of a rectangular orientation here from this early situation? So Terrence, you probably would have did this. You probably would have did something like this. Cool, no problemo with that. As we play this thing out, we see that it actually broke. Now, for me, and again, let me actually erase this. What can you notice that's different just from actually looking at the pattern? Let me erase this. What can you notice that's different here versus here? You can look at Netflix and you can see that, okay, look, the support and resistance is not as bundled up, right? Like I can tell you right now, Terrence, that we have, look at this. Look at all the support and resistance we got right here. Look at this, resistance here, resistance here. It came up, support, it broke below, resistance, and then it came back down and it fell, right? So I saw this from way back here. And you can see that there's a difference even in Netflix versus Lululemon that, okay, cool. If I were to draw this, which you can, you could draw this like that because it's the same thing, right? So you're not wrong, Terrence. You could draw it like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's all about, again, it's subjective. It's all about where your eyes are going to be seeing this, okay? It's all about where your eyes are going to be seeing this and how far left you essentially want to look. I think that's just gonna have to be probably the best way that I can explain it. So, Terrence, if you see, even when you drew a horizontal line from the swing high to the left, let me see here. Is this for Netflix or is this for Lululemon? The one to the right. So this is Netflix. Okay. So even when you drew a horizontal line from the swing high to the left. So the swing high, I don't know if let's go over, can't see it. Yeah, it's just a little bit hard for me to actually find it and find what you're talking about. Let me see here. Right there at M. Oh, right here. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I want to be able to just like make sure I can understand what you're saying because I think someone has the same question. Are you talking right here? Or what price action are you talking about? Yeah, to the top though. Okay, right here. So here we go. Resistance. Boom. Okay, so how would you know? Essentially, you're saying, how would you know that you could actually draw this line here? I think this is the line that you're talking about. So let me go back to your question real quick, and then we can actually continue going more and more examples. You said, why didn't you draw the triangle on this example? So I see you're saying, you're probably thinking about this right here. Boom. Yes, I feel that's more resistance than the higher line. Got you. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I definitely think that yeah, and that works, right? It definitely works. But what I can say is you're not wrong in this situation. I just think what happened is it just, I would say, almost invalidated the bear flag a little bit here, or it just blew past it. There's no, yeah, it broke that resistance. That's the only thing. So Terrence, to your point, this is a lot of resistance, right? If you have your line still here and you notice that this is a sharp, I would say, drop in price action, and you notice this trend line, I'm okay with this. I'm definitely okay with this. It's just that the way that my eyes actually looked at the chart, I didn't really notice this at first, okay? If anything, I probably would have paid attention to this, but that's just what it means. That's just what it means to actually be in the market. Like, people are going to actually look at things differently, but you're both going to be right. So what I want you to take away from this is don't necessarily try to conform necessarily to what I may see. You may see something that's also right, and we both may be right. It's just that I may make money this way and you may make money that way. I think it's more of just like a understanding that we're just not going to see things eye to eye. And that goes to everybody. Like, we're not going to see things completely eye to eye, but Terrence, you're absolutely right. You could have definitely drew a more of a triangular pattern here and you could have been fine. Now, if this thing plays out, which it did, it just broke it, right? It just broke it. Now, when it actually breaks this, what that means is, because essentially we would have thought this was a bear flag. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Once it breaks it and then it retests this line, then it's going to actually invalidate that actual bear flag. And then you may have to kind of reorient yourself and say, okay, cool. So it broke it. Maybe, I know I'm going short, or I was supposed to go short here. Is it supposed to maybe give me a breakout? How else could I have looked at that? And that would have brought you maybe to this. So, yeah. And that's why I said initially is that, hey, look, I don't know when this thing's going to break out. This thing could just continue to rectangle its way up there. But as it does, you can make money in here if you really wanted to trade it. So thank you for that, Chris. Terrence, I hope that answers the question. And I wanted to go back and forth to actually, let the class actually to listen in too, because these are all good points. These are all good questions. And I appreciate the dialogue because, again, yeah, it's just part of it. It's just part of it. So Netflix, I think we tackled that. Let me actually go back to this screen here. Let's go to Nike. I'm just going to give y'all what I'm seeing. Okay. I'm going to give y'all what I'm seeing. And one last thing that I can say is, and this is another point that hits with Terrence. If you want to just identify bull and bear flags, you don't have to have all these different types of indicators up, right? Because then it becomes a lot of noise. And I kind of mentioned this on my past class. So if you think about it, right? How many entries can I get off of this thing? What am I comfortable with? What am I comfortable seeing? And how do I want to really play this? So this is the V's and the U's that I taught you all, right? So you could have your support and resistance up, right? And you can kind of do your thing in between support and resistance, and you can make money this way, right? Or if you feel like it's just a lot easier to be like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna actually stick to maybe 1 or 3 things. And right now I'm just gonna be looking for bear flags and bull flags on the monthly chart. Cool, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's really what it comes down to is like, what combination of indicators do you want to use? So that way you can be able to identify whatever it is that you're trying to identify. You're not going to be able to have 100%, like, you're not going to, like, I guarantee you right now, and I don't want y'all to get kind of like crazy with this, but there's going to be times where you have your trading plan and you have your indicators and you're going to miss out on opportunities. That's just part of the game. Like, you're just going to miss out on opportunities. But for the opportunities that you do get, you got to be okay with that. So do you usually do the flags on the monthly chart? I think the monthly charts are really good. Thanks for the question, Fred. But you don't have to. What I can actually show you all is there are certain stocks that you can actually get onto the daily. I think the daily is another good one. It's just that the daily can gap at times. So let me first show you this. So this is Google, right? So this is Google. I see this actually doing some type of flag orientation similar to almost a Netflix. The price action is not super sharp, but I'm just putting it up there as something that it could potentially happen because I do see Google actually falling. But let me actually do this. So to Fred's question, boom, 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 what we can do is, okay, look, check it out. Where's our resistance and support? Okay, boom, boom, boom. No, I don't want to do that. What I wanted to do was this. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So again, fall, it's coming up. I do think it's going to resist, which it actually is doing, and I think it's going to fall in this rectangle. Now, let's go to the daily chart. So now you can actually see how this actually really plays out, because now we're zooming in to a smaller time frame. Now, I can see a bull flag right here, and it's inside of a bear flag on the monthly chart. I know some of y'all might be like, what the are you talking about? But I can tell you right now that this right here is essentially a bear flag. I can draw it like this. Okay, so there's our support. And this is the sharp move up, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Then we have our consolidation, and then it breaks out again, okay? So it can happen on multiple time frames, and this is kind of what Google is doing right here. Move up on the daily, boom, 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 came back out. Boom, 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 came back out. So again, up to, do you all see this? Let me look at the chat. I think it will. The lower you go, the harder it is. I think the one thing I've learned over the last few weeks is the chart is always going to give you 2 price targets and they both will hit. You just have to find them and give it time. Yeah, no, that's a good point. So Fred, do you see how you're able to identify them on smaller time frames? I usually do the 4-hour, daily, weekly, or monthly, okay? That's where I like to identify my bull flags. If I go down, sometimes it'll happen for the hour, but again, what you'll have to just be cognizant of is that the lower you go, you'll start to get into gaps and it may just be harder to see, right? But that's really it. So really good question. Appreciate that. Is there a bull flag right after that? Yeah, I think so. So you have a breakout and then you have this right here. Kind of reminds me of like Head and Shoulders for STV, where it's kind of like, it's not going to be perfect either, y'all. I promise it's not. Because another thing, but yeah, I would consider this this could be a bull flag. Okay. One other thing to mention about smaller time frames is that you're going to get more fake outs in terms of your speed lines. I hope y'all know that. I was actually pre-learning puts on Google. This is spot on. I just wasn't going to buy them until I got my retest. Right. No, appreciate it, Ian. But one thing about, and this is for anyone that's experienced, okay, what you'll know is that the smaller time frame you go, the more fake outs you're more susceptible to, okay? So here, to Kay's point, look, we really got two bull flags right in our face. Boom, sharp orientation up, consolidation, consolidation. Boom, sharp move up, consolidation, consolidation, and then we had a breakout. That breakout was just a gap up, okay? Now you can see here, I drew my speed line, and how I draw my speed line, you can see that even this actually broke it, but it came back up. That is just the name of the game with actually trading on smaller time frames. You're gonna have more fake outs, which is why I typically, if I do, I'm usually not going anywhere lower than the 4 hour for the most part. So are you all with me or following me? Are there any other questions about that? Are you all familiar that you will get more breakouts or fake outs on smaller time frames? Do you all know about that? Let me know. Let me know. Yes, okay, cool. So yeah, y'all, this is what it is. This is what it is. And you can just look for this. You can just look for this. We got one new message. Okay, Benita says yes. Okay, let me know if I can hear from anyone else, but it takes a little bit of practice. It takes a little bit of practice. So don't beat yourself up if you're not getting it right now. But let's see if we can find some more. So now I think you all got the hang of it. Let's go to wedges, okay? And then I'll get some examples from you all because I think that will help too. So let's go to a bearish wedge. So Shopify. There's a bearish wedge here. I see it. What does that bearish wedge look like? I can tell you right now. Well, hey, look, this is its actually monthly channel, okay? So that's a channel to me. Let me actually go down here. I like this. I like something like that. Monthly channel, okay? Remember I told you all that it always comes back to your channel. And then you have a bearish wedge. Where is that bearish wedge going to actually be? Right here. Boom. Look at that. So I know for those of you that are new, it may be hard to actually identify this, but look at this. Pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff. This is how I look at a bearish wedge, okay? Or a rising wedge. And this is, again, this is on the monthly chart so that I can show you all, but so this took a while, but I just want to be able to show you. So essentially here, you see it goes boom, 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 boom. We get a break, okay? We get our confirmation candles, 1, 2, and then it falls. Again, me knowing this, knowing that it came out of its monthly channel, 1, also knowing that it's starting to actually create this rising wedge, 2, what I'm going to be looking for is essentially sometime, either if it's, I would have waited till, you know, at some point here, it would have had to give me a breakout either way, right? It broke down here. So I just know that by identifying these for long enough that I'm setting myself up for this fall, okay? Let's actually look at another one, Shopify. And then we'll get into maybe a smaller time frame one, but Shopify, real simple, right? You could have came here, rising wedge, rising wedge, rising wedge. Okay, this is another example. Let me actually draw the channels because I think it's a little bit easier to see when you have the channel orientation with it too. Being honest, hold on, y'all. Hold on. There we go. Hold up. Okay, cool. So something like this, pretty light. But again, you have your original channel here. It came out of your channel, boom, popped up, gave you this nice, I would say, kind of speed line that you could have looked at. And then you started to notice that there was a lot of resistance in here, giving you that rising wedge, and then it fell. Pretty textbook stuff. Let's see if we can go on a lower time frame and see if we can actually look for some wedge patterns. Let's see here. Let's look for some wedge patterns. And you all can be looking too if you want, because I think it helps to just kind of interact and do things while I'm doing things too. I think this is a rising wedge. This might be one. That's more of a bear flag. Actually, no, I don't know. It just depends. It's a little tricky, honestly, the smaller you go. But you could have did something like that, just depending on the type of trader that you are and how you would have looked at this. But this is one. So you probably would have got in at some support down here. Let me actually move this because I want this to probably touch here. All right, so you see here, it's falling. There's a rising wedge. So boom, 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 boom. And really, this rising wedge is probably part of a bear flag, to be honest. That's what I'm seeing, but they're pretty much the same. Wes said, morning, bro. Did this wedge show up in the SPX this week when it ran up bullish and then failed and fell for days? Let's actually go ahead and check it out, Wes. But for you all to know, because you all can see this, look, sometimes what's going to happen is there's going to be wedges within the actual flag patterns. So if you see a wedge, then maybe there's actually a flag attached to it too. And then sometimes there's not, right? It's all about how you want to see these things. So let's go to the SPX. No, I want to go here. SPX this week. Wes, where are you looking? Are you looking at the weekly chart or something, or? Let's see here. I want to see. So probably into the daily rising wedge. It ran up on Thursday tough, then fell. Okay, so you're asking, hey, did this wedge show up on the SPX? I think so. I think it kind of gave you a wedge. So how do I want to see this? Let me look left. I think so. I think maybe it would have gave you something like this, but I don't know. I think it's still respecting it. That's more the macro though. Let me see if I can zoom in, because you can go in. If I were to go in more, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe here. So if I delete these, you could have got in here. So I think so. I think so right here. This is a good line. This is a good wedge. So I think you probably wouldn't, yeah, you probably had to slide that in a little bit more, and then you probably would have had to get in to actually here. Boom. Okay, cool. So, okay, yeah. Now you can see it, right? Now you can see it. Now, again, if you have too many things on your chart, you're probably not going to be able to see this. You're probably not going to be able to see this again. So, again, you might want to just have a core group of things. This may be one thing that you want to try out. But yeah, you can see it. So resistance here, it fell. It did not actually come down here. That's fine. Why? Because there's actually some support. right here. So you can see support, boom, 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 support, support it. Okay. Pretty simple. You can do support, resistance, and wedges like easy, but why didn't it come down here? Because it had some support. Okay, boom. So now it came here, front ran it. It's not gonna be perfect every time. Boom, 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 front ran, boom. And then it gave you this little, like, I would say shimmy in here. You knew that it was bearish and it broke down. Now, what I can say too, another strategy that you all can do is depending on what time of year it is, if you all know what witching is, right? You all know what witching is, and this is something that it just comes with knowing the market. But if you know witching's coming up, you know historically September and October are usually bearish times. What you can do is you can say, okay, look, historically the market typically likes to pull back around this time. What else from a technical standpoint is giving me that it's going to pull back? And you can actually do this. You can look for wedges, right? You may have to erase your charts, or you may have to refresh your charts or use a new chart. But you could come in here and say, okay, look, I know I got witching coming up. What is it that the technicals are telling me that's going to be bearish, right? And based off of what you know now with these wedges and flag patterns, you can see, oh, okay, I know I see price action up here or whatever, right? What is actually giving me bearish indication? Ah, I see this rising wedge. Okay, cool. It looks like we might actually fall. So another way that you can actually incorporate it. Zach said Tesla shows a great one. Let's do Tesla. Let's do Tesla, man. I always mess up the ticker. Shout out to Eon being in class too. All right, Zach, where are you looking at? Let's see what you're looking at. Let's see what you're looking at. On the hour. Okay, on the hour. And this is this a rising wedge? Or is this a what are you seeing here? Oof. On the hour as well. Let's see here. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Where would this be? Where would this be? Where would this be? I think I see what you're talking about. I think I see what you're talking about. I hate that I have to draw this thing like this. It's so funny. All these candles are like, it's such a massive amount of candles for the hour chart. This is a really big one. This is a really big rising wedge. I'm not even gonna hold you, but y'all can see this, right? Like, I'm not tripping. Again, what did I say? The smaller time frame you go, you're gonna get more susceptible to gaps, right? But yeah, essentially this thing gapped down. Look at this. You see the rising wedge? This is only what? This is from March 23rd to what? To July. So this is only a month. I know there's a lot of candles here, but essentially, yeah, this thing was rising, and then what happened? It gapped down. It actually broke the rising wedge, and now it's falling. So I see that. If we actually go a little bit, zoom in more, don't know if we can actually, might be able to get away with one. It just depends if I see it. So let me actually go ahead and do this. I'll just keep drawing these until y'all can see it. But even if you wanted to go here into more of, I probably would have gave it this. I could have gave this right here. So let me actually connect these two. Boom, look at this. Check me out, check me out, check me out. I don't know if I like that, but something like this. I could see it here. Me personally, I like more of the macro ones, and I also like bigger time frames for actually drawing these because I just think it makes it a little bit more clear. But this could have been one. If you're used to this, this could have been one for sure because I still see support here. I still see support here, and then I probably see support somewhere down here. But it's harder. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely harder, but I see that. Okay. So cool beans, we see that. Let's actually get another example for someone. What's another stock y'all want to see? because I can tell you that. What's another stock? Nvidia. Let's do it. I think Nvidia maybe invalidated it. Nvidia just kind of blasted off like a rocket ship. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me see here. Nvidia. Let's see if we can find one. Let's see if we can find one. Now I can tell you right now, this is looking like it may be bear flagging or bull flagging. Look at this. It's starting to give me that consolidation, and it may get up out of there. I can tell you right now that if I were to do this, the market has already told me that it wants to go. Yeah, it wants to go to 500 for sure. Okay, so let's do this. We got an LMT and we got NVIDIA. So let's actually look for some. Let's look for some. So this is actually forming a bull flag in my opinion. Will it actually respect it? We'll see. Let's see here. Let's see here. This is a good one. This is a good bull flag. So sharp move up. Let's actually get this here. We got consolidation, consolidation. Okay. And then what happened? It broke out. It's a little baby one, but here, boom, consolidation, consolidation, boom. That's a bull flag. So that would give us maybe something like this right here. Hopefully y'all can see that. Won't be completely perfect, but that's one. Let's see if we can go to another one. This is another one here, even though it's not really as, it's sharp, but there's just red candles in it. But this is another one right here that I see. So I can take this away. And really we can keep it, but yeah, let's just take it away for now. I would say, let's see here. Yeah, so look, boom, came up, consolidation, consolidation, broke out. Same thing here, ran higher. What I will say is that for bull flags and bear flags, they're going to be more apparent when a stock is like running for real, right? Like if it's doing a big run or if it's doing a big fall, then they become a lot more apparent. But the more y'all look at this stuff, cool, you'll start to get it. So I appreciate that. Okay, we got LMT. LMT, I checked out LMT not too long ago. LMT is doing some good stuff. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this one's interesting, but I can see one kind of right in here a little bit. So this would be the flagpole. And then we got this right here. We got this consolidation, right? And then it broke out. So hopefully y'all see that visual. So we have boom, consolidation, broke out, ran higher. It looks like it's consolidating again. So I like that one. Let's see if we can find another one that's a little bit more clear for you all. Just using my eyes, man. Just using my eyes. I don't really see too much. I see a lot of head and shoulders though. Shout out to anyone in SCB. I see the head and shoulders for real. This is, I think I did this one, maybe. Maybe this is just on a weekly. So yeah, maybe I drew this on the daily. Yeah, but you can see on the weekly how much better it looks. So, or a little bit better. So here, I'll just draw it for you all to see on the weekly. So boom, boom, boom. So now you can kind of see it a little bit better. Bear flag or bull flag. Let's go to T-Doc. Shout out to Chris. Let's go to T-Doc. I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then yeah, we'll get up out of here pretty soon. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I see one here. Let me see if I can see it on the monthly chart. Can't really see it on the monthly chart for real. I see it on the weekly. I think weekly is a good time frame to actually look at them for real. The weekly is a good one. Roku, we can do Roku too. I like Roku. But what I would have probably did, Chris, is I probably would have drew something like this. I probably would have drew something like this. So it would have given me this orientation. Bull flag. Boom, boom, boom. Broke out. You can see that. Similar, right? You won't see them all the time, right? But you know, it's just something that you all can use again. But no, I appreciated that. I like that example. Let's see, T-Doc, we have, okay, we'll do maybe 2 or 3 more. As one on the weekly. Peace out, bro. In LA for a shoot. Call time is soon. Yeah, no worries. Shout out. We'll probably get in another few more minutes. I'll do maybe 2 or 3 more. I saw IWM, and I also saw Meta and Microsoft. Okay, so we'll end it on that. Let's do Meta first. That's not the right Meta. This is the right Meta. Ooh, okay. Let's see something here. On the weekly, I like this sharp price action. This maybe could have, I don't know if I would have considered this. This is hard to see. Where are you seeing this? I think Zach, this is a bear. This is a bull flag. This is a baby bull flag. Like, that's a baby one. Boom. And then broke out February 22. Let's see here. Okay, so we're in the right area. So maybe something like this. I think something like this potentially. I think so. I think that works. It didn't fall, so it didn't carry out what we thought it was gonna do, honestly. And I probably would have gave it this support right here. Before that, oh, let me see here. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Right here. Something like this. Where we have this right here. So something like this. Hold on. Let me draw this for y'all a little bit better. But something like this, where we had a fall here, consolidation, and then broke out. That's what I'm seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zach. But I think that's the one I think you're talking about. So sharp down, consolidation. It looks a little bit like this right here. A little bit more angled enough. He said good enough. Right. Exactly. Okay. No worries. We'll do Roku, Microsoft, and then we'll be able to get out of here, y'all. Let's do Microsoft. I was thinking diagonal. Okay, yeah. Again, it's you all will start to see it the more it plays out for sure. Let's see if we can find one on Microsoft. Thank you. No worries. I kind of saw one earlier. I want to see if I can find a better one though. This is a good one. So we have something in here where it's like, okay, boom, check me out. So we have a bull flag. Okay. So I like seeing that. We have a bull flag over here. Again, these are more baby bull flags for real. These are more baby bull flags. So sharp move up, consolidation. It gave us our breakout right here, honestly. So we could have actually did this if we wanted to. We could have did this. We could have did a pendant, right? Could have did something like that. So that would have been giving this orientation here. Okay. So hopefully y'all can see that. Boom. I like that one. What else we got? And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And the last one that we'll do, I think it was Roku. Shout out to Jay. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Man, look at this. Look at that double top. That's crazy. Let's see here. Roku. Yeah, I kind of see it. I kind of see one. I'm trying to see if I can find one that's a little bit better for you all, though. Better for the masses. I like this as a bull flag potentially. So it came down here, consolidated, and then it fell some more. So again, not perfect because it's smaller time frames, but this orientation here, it reminds me of this right here a little bit, but it's more rectangular. So you can see it fell, consolidation, broke down, fell some more, and then it came back up. So no worries, no worries. So you all, I don't have a quiz for you all at the end of this class. I apologize because I was trying to play around with the new settings. So what we can do is we can actually go ahead and end class now, but wanted to give you all that heads up about the teaching cadence that me and Eon will be doing. So starting in September, we'll be moving to bi-weekly. We'll make sure that we have the schedule up for you all. And the entire February to June in the flag part and the shot load. Okay, got you. But yeah, y'all. This has been a good class. Again, it's gonna take a little bit of time for y'all to obviously recognize these. This is another good one, by the way. I just saw this when I was actually doing this. So look at this bull flag. This is a better one. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, no worries, y'all. Nice bull flag. But so shout out to Jay. Hope you got the bear flag and the bull flag on Roku. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna end class today. What you all can do is add this to your strategy. See if you want to use it or not. I used this in the past, but I don't really use it as much. But I did find it helpful when I was first starting out to being able to play up and down in the market. So you all take this, utilize it. Our next class will be review in terms of the quiz. So I got you. And yeah, we'll lock in and we'll have some more one-on-ones coming in starting in September. So a lot of good things. Onia said made bull flags much clearer. No problem, no problem. I appreciate it, y'all. I really do. I appreciate the energy for sure. So y'all get up out of here, enjoy your Saturday, and we will actually get the replay up for you. No worries, no worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. All right, and I will upload the, what is that? Chris, I think, asked about the falling knife class. I'll make sure that that's actually uploaded, so. All right, y'all, be easy, be easy. Be on, all righty, see y'all.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.